The service sector will provide over 90% of the new jobs during the 1990s. Nehru once said, life is like a game of cards. The hand that is dealt you is determinism. The way you play it is free will. Our demographics is our hand. The future of our nation and the very quality of our lives depend on how we play this hand. In the 1960s, a long time ago, a report of the Commission on Minority Participation in Education in American Life, and some of you may remember, it was called 1/3 of a Nation. It was issued. This sobering observation is included in the preface. After extensive examination of demographic and economic data, review of the relevant research in the field, and consultation with numerous experts, the Commission reached a disturbing conclusion. America is moving backward, not forward, in its efforts to achieve the full participation of minority students in the life and prosperity of the nation. It went on. We applaud the progress that has been made in many areas, but in education, employment, income, health, longevity, and other basic measures of individual and social well-being, gaps persist, and in some cases are widening between members of minority groups and the minority population. It offered this dire warning: if we allow these disparities to continue, the U.S. inevitably will suffer a compromised quality of life and a lower standard of living. Social conflict will intensify. Our ability to compete in world markets will decline. Our domestic economy will falter. Our national security will be endangered. In brief, we will find ourselves unable to fulfill the promise of the American dream. We who have the moral responsibility to provide leadership in our communities must confront and deal with our own attitudes and mindsets. We must see our diversity for the gift that it is. We must begin with our own self-enlightenment, remembering what we already know. Hubert Humphrey gave us this standard to measure ourselves against. The moral test of government is how it treats those in the dawn of life, the children, those who are in the twilight of life, the aged, and those who are in the shadows of life, the sick, the needy, and the handicapped. As a nation, we will be well served to be guided by the cogent and timeless observation that Jane Addams made more than 100 years ago. She said, "No nation ever achieved lasting greatness by practicing immorality in its public policy, at least in the modern era. We cannot solve our problems by victimizing one class of our citizenry or another. And so I ask you here today to look at what we as a nation are doing and to judge by one simple standard: is it moral?" What would be our answer to that question here today? This is the most diverse nation in the history of the world, engaged in a difficult but noble effort, modeling for the rest of the world. The diversity will increase. The demographic forces are unyielding. The culture of America is multicultural and will forever be. All of these observations from 20 years ago still apply today, regrettably. Today, 2013, our diversity is still determining. In 2012, just last year, just ended, more than half of the babies born were babies of color, a full year ahead of projection. By 2023, in just 10 years, when these young people are at the prime of their careers, more than half of the K through 12 students nationally will be students of color, while the teachers who teach them will be increasingly teachers of none color. In another 20 to 25 years, the majority of the population in this country will be people of color. The lack of understanding of the implications of these trends has likely generated significant fear among some and irrational responses reflected in many voting against their own best interests, self-interest. America's strength continues to be its diversity. Our demographics are our national destiny. Despite the fears, this reality has generated in many, and the near hysterical reactions to it, America's past and present greatness was created by its diversity. The melding of cultures, ideas, values, and creativities of people from around the world. continuously being renewed. Our future greatness depends on how well we play this hand going forward. At every opportunity, I encourage young people to remember that they will live their lives as members of a global society, that they will compete in a global economy, and that they will live in the world's most diverse nation, a nation that is becoming increasingly diverse. While these realities pose tremendous challenges, they provide magnificent opportunities. Their success will depend ultimately on how well they live with others in such a society. For all of the aforementioned reasons and observations, as I stated at the beginning, I think the path to achieving the full realization of Dr. King's dream and securing our future as a nation is citizenship based on responsibility and respect, community based on shared values, recognized commonalities, and respected differences, education based on high standards, committed to quality, accessible and affordable to all. While there are many definitions and concepts of education, they essentially say the same thing in different ways. My favorite comes from Booker T. Washington. It is particularly apropos to citizenship and community. I would say education is meant to give us an idea of truth. Education is meant to make us just in our dealings with our fellow man. Education is meant to make us give satisfaction and to get satisfaction out of giving it. In closing, I share with you what my two favorite poets have to say about dreams. One is Langston Hughes, who was a generation ahead of me, but was a fraternity brother and a fellow alumnus of Lincoln University. In 1961, he returned to celebrate our fraternity's 50th anniversary. He was a disarmingly humble and gracious man. This poem is a constant reminder of our struggle and our resolve, and most of you know what it is. Dreams. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken-winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow. William Butler Yeats reminds us that in dreams begin responsibility. I tell my students that means that they must take responsibility, take action, strive to fulfill those dreams. Because dreams without hope are empty, and hope without means is vain. Education is enabling. It sustains hope and provides means. Again, I want to congratulate our young scholars and orators. Thank you.